We are going to be. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
You can still hear me now?
Yes.
We can't hear you. All right. Let me, we are, I believe, recording, if I did this correctly, onto the, and we want to go back into the Zoom mode so we can see what's going on here. And, yeah. Okay. Yes, here we are in March for the Wharf District Council. Somebody say something. Hi, everybody. We're here. Right. I see that Officer Ciampa is here, and we'll start out with, as we do, with our update on from the police department. Officer Ciampa.
Sergeant Chavette is here as well, and I do believe we have the new captain with us.
Oh, fantastic.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to introduce, before Frank gives us our little stats update, joining us is the new commander of Area A1 and A15, Captain Sean Martin. I just want to introduce him to the group. He'll say a few words, and then we'll follow up with Frank and be on our way. Go ahead, Cap.
Thanks, Paul. Good evening, everybody. My name's Sean Martin.
Good evening, welcome.
Thank you, sir. My name's Sean Martin, a newly assigned captain over here at District 1. I'll be replacing Superintendent Chicolo. I've been here about 7 weeks, I believe, just getting my feet wet and trying to figure out how this downtown area works. Just a little bit about my background, 20 years on the job. Most of my career has been over the Roxbury, Dorchester side. It's the first time I've been on this side of Mass Ave. But I ran the SWAT team for 5 years. I ran anti-corruption for years. So I bring a vast amount of experience from different assignments within the department, which I believe will be very helpful and be able to help you all. So I look forward to meeting and working with all of you and helping you in any way we can. So again, it's great meeting you. Look forward to a great working relationship, and please don't hesitate to reach out if we can do anything. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Captain. Thanks, Sergeant. Sergeant, you have anything?
I don't, Frank. Why don't you give us what you got?
Perfect. I'll be pretty brief. I know City Council Flynn, I believe, is on the call. We don't have much. It's been very quiet this past month in the Wharf District. Start off briefly. We did have a boat, a large sailboat break free early March. I think we had a pretty stormy day. A boat came off the dock, and luckily, state police actually. We have a police report here, but state police was able to save the day. Props to the state police. They got that boat before it caused some major damage to boats in the harbor back safely and tied on. So that was early in March. Other than that, we had a couple incidents over at the Intercontinental, 510 Atlantic Ave, 2 separate incidents. One seemed a little funny. 6 a.m. call out in the hallway with another individual. He was calling her some names, and then she stated that he accidentally hit her with a bottle, which I'm not sure how that happens. She had a small cut. EMS responded. They assessed her. She refused any further medical. Our officers did respond, and she was pretty evasive to giving any further information. So really kind of not too sure what went on there, but I wouldn't read too much into it. Other than that, the other incident over at 510 Atlantic was 2:30 in the afternoon. On March 3rd, our officers responded to a larceny report. There was a whole family that was staying in one of the hotel rooms, and they left at 9:30 in the morning, returned at approximately 1:15. Sorry, strike that. That's, yeah, it is 1:15, but in the morning. So that's an entire day that they were pretty much gone. They returned to their door ajar with a computer taken and other miscellaneous items. They tracked the computer over to Lynn. I don't even know if it's a computer, an AirPod Pro Gen 3. I don't know if that is a computer, but an Apple type device that they did track over to Lynn. They were able to get a phone number from the address. They called the number. The guy actually did pick up, and he stated, there's nothing the police are going to do. That they'll be gone by the time you get, the merchandise, whatever, will be gone by the time they get here. There's nothing you could do. It's kind of just taunting them. So detectives further investigating that incident. According to this report, they not recovered anything yet, but detectives will further investigate. Other than that, not too much. I know I checked a little bit. There were some homeless questions last month. I don't have exact numbers. I know they did a census last month, I believe it was. I'd like to get some concrete numbers to you guys before, really giving you anything. So I do not have that yet, but hopefully it does come out soon. Other than that, that's all we have. If you have any questions for us, if not, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know how much of that stuff we lost. Suzanne, were you able to hear some of it still throughout?
Yes.
Okay, good. We lost some here in this room, but and at the moment we're off, and I'm going, if I do that again, I think we're going to be able to get back to seeing what's in this room. Suzanne, would you, while I'm fiddling with this extremely annoying piece of thing here, could you remind us what's next on our agenda?
Next is Council President Flynn, and we want to welcome President Flynn to the Wharf District for his yearly visit with us, and we're so pleased that he was able to join us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Suzanne. It's great to be with you, Suzanne, and the members of the Wharf District Council. Thanks for inviting me. Suzanne, should I speak for a couple of minutes about what I've been working on?
Yes, please. That would be great.
Proud to represent this neighborhood, this community. And when I think of the Wharf District, I really think of other traditional neighborhoods in Boston that deserve the same level of basic city services, such as police, such as clean streets, quality of life issues. So that's really my top priority, is working closely with the Wharf District, but also having a positive relationship with the Boston Police, with our city departments, to try to get the best city services for you as we possibly can. I am working with Suzanne and with the members and with the leadership of the Wharf District to arrange a few meetings with some of my colleagues on climate resiliency and the climate resiliency project report. So I think we have that scheduled, Suzanne.
I do believe, yes, it's the
Okay.
27th.
Yeah, and my staff is working on it on another issue, scheduling another issue as well. I'm trying to partner as much as I can over the next 6 or 7 months with my colleague, Councilor Gigi Coletta, because as many of you know, during the redistricting process, Wharf District will soon, or a good portion of the Wharf District will be into District 1, which will be represented by Gigi Coletta. I'll still have a portion of the Wharf District, but Gigi will have a bigger portion than I will. But what I am committed to doing is still working closely with you. I have great respect for this organization and have some good friendships here. So I want to continue working with you, but also working with my colleague, Councilor Coletta, to provide the best quality of life for the residents as we can, and just to work with her so she's up to speed on a lot of these quality of life issues. I know she knows the climate resiliency issue as well as anyone. She certainly knows it better than me. But I'm also trying to introduce her to as many people in city government, especially on basic city services. That's also important. Let me just highlight a couple things that are coming up that you guys might be interested in. We have an upcoming city council hearing on April 4th. And as you know, this one, well, let me tell you, this meeting is on the Moakley Bridge with the recent poles that were knocked down, public infrastructure recently. In I believe one of the poles hit someone and hurt the person. But I believe there's a lot of poles that have been damaged because of the water and the sea and the salt water. So I'm having the chief of streets testify at this hearing with myself and Councilor Flaherty. So I think we have a major infrastructure problem, in my opinion. I want to get more information from the city department, Public Works, especially on what the inventory is, what our challenges are, and what we're doing about it. As I mentioned, I focus a lot on quality of life issues. I have another hearing coming up on pest control, trash contracts, and procedures. That's the day that's on the 11th.
President Flynn, could I make a comment about those poles?
Of
on the
course.
Moakley Bridge. I don't know if anyone here experiences this, but the new poles that are on the Moakley Bridge, the lighting on those poles is so intense that it shines directly into people's windows, like my windows in Harbor Towers. And it is so bright that I am not exaggerating when I tell you that I don't have to turn my lights on. It's pouring into my windows, and I don't think any lighting. Now, the Moakley Bridge is how many blocks from my house? I don't think any lighting should be that intense. And I don't know what we do to ensure that the entire bridge isn't lit up with those lights, and if something can be done with the 3 existing light poles.
Well, thank you, Suzanne. Suzanne, I can bring that up at the meeting with the chief of streets. I'll bring that question up and see what their recommendations might be on how we can move forward on that. Suzanne, also, if anyone else has that similar complaint, could they also email me directly so I can have a couple of residents that I've heard from, so I'm able to accurately reflect that when I speak to the chief of streets during the hearing.
I have the same view as Suzanne does, and I can send that.
Okay, Martha. Yeah, that would be helpful. If people want to send me a couple of emails, that would help me.
Martha and Suzanne, just for clarifications, are those the permanent lights or the temporary lights they have on there?
I don't know if they're permanent or temporary. I believe they're temporary, but.
Okay. They might, yeah. So they might be the temporary lights as opposed to the permanent ones. Because I know they've got some on there while they're fixing they got some floodlights while they're fixing the street lights.
They've been like that for months.
Yeah. They have been. It's a long project.
Well, I mean, I'm happy to send a picture, a photo out my window of these lights.
That'd probably be helpful too. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there have to be other people. It can't be just Martha and I in a 40-story building.
Yeah, I'll make sure I highlight that, Suzanne and Martha, and we'll get a direct answer from the chief of streets when he's on the call. And certainly anyone that wants to testify is more than welcome to testify. I can give you more of the technical logistics on how to do that later on. I can email you, but if you want to weigh in, testify in person, over Zoom, or just in a letter, I can make sure whatever you want to do is added into the official record.
Yeah, I'll just say, Councillor, thank you very much. I'm Stephen Johnston, the General Manager of the Boston Harbor Hotel, and I'm really delighted to hear you taking this on, because there are a lot of things in the neighbourhood that are falling apart. And it was one of my employees here, one of my managers, who got hit by that lamppost, and she broke her back and she broke her 2 legs and she fractured skull. And she'd only come back to work just in the last 5 weeks, and that was mid-October that happened. So she nearly lost her life, and you know, there are a lot of things like this. So I think this is a great cause for you to pursue, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for. I'm sorry. Can you tell me your name again? I couldn't really hear. I'm sorry. I heard what you said.
Stephen Johnston, General Manager at the Boston Harbor Hotel.
Okay. Stephen Johnson. Okay, thank you. Hey, Stephen, if you're able to, could you provide my email address to the woman that was hurt? And
Yeah.
if she wants to send me an email, I'd love to talk with her.
Sure, I'll take care of that in the morning, no problem.
Okay, thank you. So let me also say, well, I should have said this at the beginning. Let me welcome Captain Martin, the new A1 captain, who's off to a very strong start. He has a great reputation, a great background. I also represent, as you know, Chinatown, the South End, downtown Boston. I've been with them on many meetings already, including today. But what I wanted to focus on too is something that is a concern to me. Is we're going into the budget season now, and I honestly think we are desperately short-staffed on the Boston Police Department. I think it's critical that, and let me start by saying, I think the police department do an excellent job, and they provide excellent public safety services to residents. I also think we don't have enough police officers in the city. I think we need to consistently hire 200 to 300 police officers every year, probably for the next 10 years. Many of my colleagues disagree with me, and that's fine. But I'm at these meetings every night, and I know we are short-staffed, and a lot of officers are working double shifts, 16 hours a day, sometimes 5 days a week is very unhealthy. So that's what I'm going to be focused on as we going into the budget season, is to address this. I think it's a crisis. Again, I have the greatest respect for the police. They're part of the solution. They do tremendous work in our community, but they need more support. If you are able to weigh in on if that's a priority for you, you can contact me. But even more importantly, contact your 4 at-large city councilors, because they also need to hear from you on what's important to you. I'm the city council president, as you know, but a lot of my colleagues disagree with me on this position. I'm not part of the defund the police movement. The police are part of the solution. They're not the problem. But I really would like to ask you to weigh in, contact your at-large city councilors, contact me, whether you agree with me or you disagree with me. And if you disagree with me, that's also fine. But I represent you. I want to do the best I can representing you. Suzanne, I'm going to stop there. And if anyone has a question or two, I'll take questions for people. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Be great. Um,
I see
Bob, yes, go ahead.
Yes, hi, good evening. This is Bob Payon. I live on Broad Street. And every night around this actually starts early, about 3:30, 4 o'clock, there's a total gridlock on Surface Road. And it's, I mean, largely of the box here at India Street and Surface Road is just totally congested with cars. And the cars trying to get across can't get across because the box is jammed. So I'm hoping that between the police who are present and yourself, Councilor Flynn, that you'll look into how we can clear up the intersections in Boston, in particular the ones in our neighborhood. One of the problems that I noticed that may be attributing to or worsening this problem is there are two lights very close together. One is at the intersection of Broad and Surface Road, and the other is at High Street and Surface Road. And it's a very short block. It's where Panera Bread is. That's a very short block. And when the light at Broad Street is red, the light for crossing High Street on Surface Road is green. And that creates all kinds of difficulty for drivers who see a green light 50 feet ahead of them, but they're stopped at a red light for Broad Street. And many of them don't realize what that red light means. So again, we have problems in this neighborhood with regard to traffic. Largely, it's the blocking the box problem that creates much of the problem and difficulty. So I thank you for looking into it, listening to my complaint and looking into it. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Council, if you want me to jump on that for a second, sir. Sir, I took the intersection down. We had numerous complaints of this throughout the city. It's like Council Flynn said, we're extremely short-handed. However, I did request resources from our mobile operations patrol. They're the traffic enforcement unit. So they've been spending the last few weeks helping me out with several intersections throughout Chinatown and working our way back this way to, for some enforcement, try to educate people and curb the behavior. So I took this intersection down, sir. I heard what you said. And as we finish up at those intersections, I assure you we'll move them outside resources back down this way to try to alleviate some of those concerns for you.
Captain, excellent. Thank you, Captain, and appreciate your work and your team's work. Thank you, Captain.
Counselor, I know that you have a full agenda every day, all day long. I do want to make sure that we have the opportunity to share with you a concern that just surfaced yesterday about the fact that there is a proposal that we just found out about by accident to create to create a bike lane on Milk Street. And I know that you know that we have strong feelings about bike lane on State Street and what it's going to do to traffic. The interesting thing about there are two things about this particular proposal that are of particular interest to us. Number one is the fact that we didn't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's a real miss because we can provide valuable input. And I hope that our input is both respected and useful as to what works and what doesn't work for our neighborhood. That's item number one. Number two is that there is one block of that is two directions, the bike lane, and then the rest of it is all one direction. And we have put together, if I may share with you, a plan of the city that using the city's maps that allows us to see where a bike lane, this is Milk Street in red, if you can see that. And this could be a 2-lane bike lane, as they have proposed a 1-lane bike lane going all the way from Surface Artery, all the way up to Washington Street. And, you know, there's a question about should it be on the right or should it be on the left, and you know, or both or whatever. But this concept, which is being shown in an extremely rudimentary way by the city, has the possibility of solving the problem that we were trying to solve, which is not having a bike lane on State Street that goes only one direction, but instead goes all the way up this nice route, all the way up to Washington Street, plenty of room for it. I walked it this morning. So there's a way of doing this. So, you know, this is either a great move in the right direction, or it's a proposal that is, you know, divorced from the other parts of the transportation concept that's being proposed. And we would like your help in trying to resuscitate that conversation with the traffic department or whichever agencies are responsible for it, and try to figure out the right way to go about this.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. I think that was one of the issues that we have scheduled a meeting on.
Yes, it is.
Most
This thing yesterday.
Okay, yeah, on State Street, and I see Bobby Rudolph there. And
Yep.
we were working on the State Street with everybody. Here's my opinion, is the chief of streets, it does not do a good job of engaging residents in the neighborhood association about changes, infrastructure changes that impact a particular community, impact a particular neighborhood, including the business district, such as State Street. And I have let the mayor's office know about that. I know the mayor's office is on this line as well, but I think the chief of streets is providing inaccurate and not valid information or recommendations on transportation planning. They are closing streets in certain neighborhoods, and it's also impacting public safety. And a lot of these streets that are being closed without input from residents and neighborhood associations. That's my biggest concern, is the lack of involvement from residents in neighborhood associations. So I have made this clear to the mayor's office that the transportation planning needs major changes in the city. And Mark, I think you just provided a good example, is that on Milk Street, there was no community input. They should have at least given you notice or asked for your opinion, or asked for the opinion of the district city councilor, what impact this would have. That hasn't been done. That frequently happens. You probably can tell I'm frustrated about it, but that's one of the issues. That's one of the issues I hope to talk about as well.
We'll look forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Other questions for Councillor Flynn that we can take this opportunity to
Councillor Flynn, this is Matthew Murphy with Boston Harbor City Cruises. How are you?
Good, Matthew. It's good to hear from you.
Thank you. It's really nice to have you here, and appreciate all your efforts on behalf of our district, our neighborhood, and all you do for the city. Sort of pivoting from your remarks earlier about the upcoming city budget, and also folding in the conversation about Moakley Bridge. And I have not had a chance to examine the budget in detail, but do you have a sense of what portion of the budget is dedicated to improving infrastructure, city-owned infrastructure in the city. I mean, this, as Stephen Johnston just said, this incident that happened with the Moakley Bridge is just one place. There are any number of places around our Wharf district that are in critical need of repairs, even replacement in some cases. And I wonder if you can talk a little bit about that or have some sense of how the budget is dealing with that issue.
Yeah, thank you, Mark V. Just let me give you a little bit of background. The mayor will present her budget early in April. And at that time, it will go to the city council and we'll have a series of meetings with department heads, probably for the next 3 weeks after that, going into May. But what's critical is the input from residents about what is important to you, what you want to see in the budget. I highlight the need for public safety, but certainly infrastructure improvements on bridges and roads are also important. You pay high property taxes. Businesses pay high property taxes. You want good quality of life services. You want good basic city services. But you are right. We need to invest heavily in infrastructure in our city. We're an old city. Our sidewalks need repairs. Our streets need repairs. Even a brand new bridge, such as Moakley Bridge. We're not certain how much money we need to invest in that. But what I'd like to say is there's an opportunity for residents to be involved and to get involved, because if you don't get involved, another group will speak up about the budget and they'll tell us about what their priorities are. And it doesn't mean that they reflect your values or what's important to you necessarily. So I really would like to hear from you. I also am willing, Suzanne and Mark, in mid-May to host a meeting like this, asking my 4 at-large council members and Councilor Coletta and their staffs, I guess, to listen to residents about what's important to them in the budget. I'd be glad to host that on Zoom or in person. So just an idea, just a thought. But what I focus on in the budget is basic city services, neighborhood services, infrastructure, keeping our city moving. Those types of quality of life issues are important to me because I think they're important to the residents.
Great.
Excellent. Thank you. And I think it's great advice. And if I can just give you a quick example, and I will advocate for this on behalf of our company and the council with your permission. We carry thousands of people at Long Wharf lined up for whale watches and his harbor cruises and Provincetown Ferry and so forth. There is no shelter, no shade structures anywhere on Long Wharf. And we do everything. This is sort of tied into our climate resilience work that planning that we've been doing. But as a company, we're giving out just bottles of free water. We're handing out handheld umbrellas, anything to keep our older citizens or young children, child customers, just to keep them from fainting in the sun. It's a serious safety issue. So that's just another example that I wanted to just pile on here. So I will definitely take your advice and advocate. So thank you for that.
Thank you. And know what else I failed to mention is I'm making the city is, I should say, we're making great progress in eventually getting another fire presence and EMS presence in the South Boston waterfront. I know some people call it the Sea Point. As a Southie guy, I call it the South Boston waterfront. But it is a priority as we build up the waterfront that we have a fire presence there. We have an EMS presence there. Certainly it will impact your area, but as we build up that neighborhood, we have built it up, as you know, without any basic city services. And that's a problem. We obviously have transportation challenges there, but we need a fire presence. We need an EMS presence. That's something I'm making progress on. I should have a little bit more information when the budget comes out. And my final thing is, besides these neighborhood services, you know, I represent the neighborhood of Chinatown as well. I do a lot of work in support of the Asian Chinese community, language and communication access, food access that impacts this community. So I spend a lot of time as well and resources supporting our residents of Chinatown, your residents as well. But I'm committed to continuing to working with you all, even if I'm not your city councilor, but I have been honored to be a city councilor, and I've made some wonderful friends. So just want to continue working with you guys. We still have a lot of work left to do before you throw me out as your city councilor.
Well, we appreciate that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I see my friend Chris Cook is on from the Greenway, and we do a lot of work as well. And Chris has been a wonderful ally and friend in building up the Greenway and supporting the Greenway. So I want to say thank you to Chris. Having said that, I'm going to probably sign off if that's okay with everybody.
That's great. Thank you very much, Counselor. We really appreciate
you.
it. Look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks, and appreciate everything you do for us.
Oh, okay. It's good to be with everybody.
Thank you, President
Thank
Flynn.
you. Thank you, everybody.
Suzanne, is Jenny next on our calendar?
Jenny is next, yes.
Okay, and I think that this, Jenny, might be you that we're sharing. Is that all right? Well, I can't move this much closer to you. I don't even know. I'm not even sure if this is working, but
Can you hear me?
No,
Yeah, just barely.
why don't you come sit right where John is? John, if you don't mind moving, or over here.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I just don't, I don't know what's on and what's not at this point.
we'll help you.
Usually pretty good at this, but this is. All right, I think you're talking to this thing.
How about now?
Can you hear her now?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, hello. Thank you so much for having me tonight. My name is Jenny Morse. I am the Assistant General Manager at Faneuil Hall Marketplace. And, just wanted to provide an update about what's happening at the property, as well as, be a point of contact for the neighborhood and for all the groups that are around us. We're really committed to, being a good neighbor and getting involved. So this should be a pretty quick and easy update for you, but we have a lot that's changing, as you may or may not have seen if you've been to the property lately. There's a lot that looks under construction, which there is. We have 2 big restaurants going where McCormick and Schmick's and Anthem used to be. So 2 anchor restaurants that will be opening by the summer, probably in June. So the Sugar Factory and Margaritaville will join our 4 other full service restaurants, which will be great to have more, the outdoor dining. Once that comes back, it'll be very lively. And just to update you about what's happening inside Quincy Market. Quincy Market is very committed to maintaining all local owner and operators. So this is a list of all of the current vendors inside. We have 5 new tenants that will be opening also before the summer. So those are noted there. These are all people that are local to the area. They might be franchised, but local owners. So, our team is very committed to keeping Quincy Market as local as we can. Which also joins all of our local retailers there. We have some tenants pictured in that top photo that have been at Quincy Market for over 40 years. So we have a great mix of, unique specialty offerings, and we're always growing that program. In the South Market building, what's pictured here is a huge project that will start construction probably in the next couple of months. By May, they should be well underway. It's going to be a 15,000 square foot candy store. One of 3 in the United States. So It's Sugar had joined us a little over a year ago, and they've done so well that they wanted to expand. So that'll be a huge project that'll be under construction throughout the summer and open in the fall. And this is just a list of all the current tenants in the South Market and the North Market. We just announced Build-A-Bear is coming as well. So we are very quickly filling a lot of the vacancies that have been plaguing us for a couple years with COVID, and it's definitely breathing new life into the marketplace. We still have our Dino exhibit. You may have noticed a giant 20-foot tall dinosaur the last time you came through. So they're staying through Labor Day of this year. And then that space on the second floor of Quincy Market will probably stay an exhibit of some sort.
Attraction, is it by admission?
Yeah, they sell tickets, but if you'd like to come, I can hook you up there. As well, anyone in this group, please just let us know. And that's not a joke. Our street performers will be back for the summer. We have a roster of around 30 local and regional performers who many of them are world renowned. They travel the globe literally doing this for a living. So we're very lucky to have them at Quincy Market. They're all very professional, very courteous, and they put on a great show. And we're really getting more into events. We have, ever since really Christmas time, we put a lot of effort into having a really special holiday experience with the return of an outdoor tree. We've been amping up the events. So next up, we'll have one of the Boston Celtics players at Faneuil Hall on April 1st. We're hosting the Meet Boston open house in May. So would love for you all to come and get reacquainted with Faneuil Hall at that event. We'll host that in Quincy Market upstairs, as well as just some other, random events throughout the year. We're excited. The Army-Navy game is coming to Massachusetts, and they are planning a pep rally pull-up contest at Quincy Market. So a lot of cool things happening. Just wanted to, let you all know about all this. That's the end. Let you know about what's happening, and if anybody has any questions.
Jenny, it's Suzanne. Is there some way you can share this information with us so we can communicate it to the folks in the neighborhood? Because I think this is great.
Good point. We'll get it
Yeah.
on our website and
Yes, on our website.
Yes, Mark has a copy now, so
I do.
you can circulate it.
And Stephen, what do you or the other hotels do to let people know what's going on in the neighborhood? Do you have a regular sort of thing?
We do on our website, and then we have every other month we do an events list that we provide to our guests. We can give out from our concierge desk too. So we generally have that information. But this is great.
Yeah.
Welcome back to full board.
Thank you. Thank you.
We've had a couple of years. Great.
Yes.
Big roles.
you told me this, no longer, will you tell me again, what is the sugar factory? Because it's different than. I don't know.
Yes, I know. So the South Market building will be full of sugar concepts. The Sugar Factory is a full service restaurant. And they're located at a number of casinos. They do over the top milkshakes and drinks, you know, rainbow hamburgers, and it's a lot of fun. And then
But that's a different thing than.
then It's Sugar,
Yeah.
which is the 15,000 square foot candy store.
Got it.
Yeah, so they're combining 4 spaces to create this.
And that's all
massive
locale, right?
superstore. Yeah, they're not a local tenant. But we make up for that inside Quincy Market. They're not allowed in there. They're not allowed in there.
Terrific, wonderful.
Yeah.
Very exciting for all
Can I
of us.
ask a quick question?
Please, Judy, go ahead.
I may be really out of the loop, but there was talk at one time about that south building being completely redeveloped and a hotel. And I thought a lot of those vacancies that I always see when I walk by might have been part and parcel of that, but I must be out of step. Can you just give me an update on what's happening?
No, you know, people ask about that from time to time. I think you mentioned that the last time. Yeah. There are no current plans for a hotel. I know that was definitely a pipe dream of the owners, but that building would be so difficult to try and get all the plumbing and electrical, you know, the way it would need to be for all the individual rooms. I can guarantee you it's not happening anytime in the near future, at least.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks for the question.
Yeah.
Other questions for Jenny?
I have one more. I think this is great, and the way it's targeted to a general market. Do you have anything with respect to the shops that would target the neighborhoods more, so that living and working in the neighborhood, I would go there, not just because I have folks in town, but because I need something, or, you know, I want to run out and get a gift for someone. Is there any kind of an approach that would focus on locals, why they could go there?
I think it's a great idea to put together some sort of like a discount program for people in the neighborhood. Our tenants would certainly love that. We're always trying to work on ways to attract more local residents. That's part of the events initiative.
I think what Suzanne, unless I'm mistaken, what you're suggesting is that, you know, if there's a retailer over there that is able to offer the kinds of things that we actually need on a daily basis, that we would go over there to get that.
Such as a
Small grocery store type thing or something like that, right? Is that what you were thinking about?
I'm not looking for a grocery store, but I like Jenny's idea about offering a neighborhood discount. I think that would attract, again, the locals, the folks around here, because so many people say, well, Quincy Market is for the tourists, Faneuil Hall's for the tourists, so they don't think to go over there. And if there's reasons for them, you know, if there's something, even as you say, the discount, well, you know, I'd go over there and look for something as opposed to going up to downtown Crossing. But I mean, it would be wonderful to have a market over there, but that ain't gonna happen. So, you know, just focus on what could be appealing to the locals besides sugar.
Yes. Well, if you need any candy, you know where to go now.
Exactly. That's great gifts.
Yeah.
Can I add to that? Which is, I think that because I'm over there a lot, since it's so close to my workplace. I think that there are existing shops and stores and even carts over there that offer items that would be of interest. You know, I think what Suzanne is referring to is sort of a perception issue.
Yes.
And maybe there's a way to highlight certain businesses that have offerings. Like, you know, listen, I go to the Christmas shops, the Christmas shop over there to get ornaments. I go to, I think it's still there, the hot sauce.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Store, because we're big hot sauce fans at my house.
Yeah.
So there may be existing places over there, and just kind of coming up with a list of those merchants that may have an appeal on a neighborhood basis.
Yep,
Right.
absolutely.
Brad has a question. Sorry, were you,
Oh, no.
Brad, you have a question?
Yeah, I do. I just wanted to really acknowledge Jenny, and as the Wharf District Council representative to the Greenway, I just want to acknowledge Jenny that she is absolutely a rock star on that board, and she's co-chair of the GLOW and doing an unbelievable job. And you have brought life to our board, so thank you.
Thank you.
Bravo.
It's an honor to be on it.
It's great. Other questions for Jenny? We do expect regular sugar treats from now on.
I will bring you that.
Plus the refreshments. Great, thank you very much.
I don't know.
Oh, Martha, you have a question too?
Yeah, it's more of a comment. When my friends are around, the perception of Faneuil Hall is it's less historic and more like just Chestnut Hill Mall. I think the big nationals in Faneuil Hall kind of dilute the appeal, and you don't even get to think about the small little kiosks that you have, because you're like, well, if I want to go to Coach, I'm going to go to the Chestnut Hill Mall where there's parking. So I hope in time that some of those big anchors could switch to something more local or regional, and because I do think it impacts how that gets itself marketed out in the public. I just wanted to share that because I kind of universally hear that.
Yes, we certainly hear that as well. And, it's definitely a fine balance to try and have both. I'm sure everyone knows the rent at Faneuil Hall is very high. And so a lot of those spaces require a lot of capital investment just to get them up to code. And that's why restaurant spaces like Cheers and Dick's have been vacant and are vacant still, because the type of investment simply to bring them up to code is so large that, we only someone with that amount of capital would be able to operate there. We try to support the local tenants inside Quincy Market as much as we can, but yes, understanding that a lot of those larger spaces have national tenants. So it's a balance.
Yeah.
It's a balance for sure.
Other questions or thoughts for Jenny?
We're always welcoming new tenants as well. I actually just spoke to a woman from the North End today about doing a push cart for the season. So we welcome those connections. If you know anybody who's looking to open a business or bring a cultural event. No. Performances. We work with dozens of school groups throughout the year who come and bring their choirs and bands and host performances. So we're really just trying to integrate more into the community, get the word out, reintroduce Quincy Market, and hope that you'll all come see what's new soon.
Thank you very much.
Great. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Suzanne, what do we want to talk about next?
I think Matthew is going to talk to us.
Oh, yes.
Going to put on his other hat and talk about Boston Harbor City Cruises, their new cruise.
Good boy, don't let me unplug anything.
Sit here.
I'll be right with you all. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Great. I did not bring a slide presentation. I do have a press release that I'd love to maybe send out to all the members. Oh, thank you. And what I did bring with me tonight is a flyer, which, let's see, which way do I?
Yeah, right there.
So, there we go. That's about the best I can do at the moment. But I wanted to announce a couple of things. One, first and foremost, on April 1, we're premiering a brand new cruise experience called the New England Aquarium Eco Venture Cruise. And just to give a little bit of background on this, we are not starting our New England Aquarium Whale Watch until May 16 this year. We've had a lot of discussions with the aquarium over the last, well, probably the last 2 years about the diminishing right whale population, which is an endangered species. And they have a migration pattern that goes right past Stellwagen Bank and the outer harbor. So there actually is pending legislation about restriction of boat speed limits in that migration pattern area. That legislation has not passed yet. However, the aquarium and Boston Harbor City Cruises reached an agreement where we would delay the start of our whale watch until May 16th, which is the time, which is pretty much past the migration pattern of the right whales. So having made that agreement, that leaves us, we usually start up our whale watch around May 19th, March 20th. So that leaves a rather large hole of about 6 weeks where we don't have anything going on. You know, my friend Suzanne Mattis said it, you know, necessity is the mother of invention at times. So we put our heads together and collaborated on this cruise called the Eco Venture. And it starts April 1st. It'll run just weekends only for the first 2 weeks. And then we'll be running on a daily basis from April 7th through May 15. And we may even continue it beyond that, depending on how it goes. It's a first time venture. So, but we do believe that with some of the marketing studies we've done, that there's definitely an interest in ecotourism, and it really is helping the aquarium to further its mission of focusing on protecting the blue planet, on educating people around environmental issues, conservation. So what the tour will be is a 2.5-hour cruise, departs from Wharf actually, naturally. So there'll be wildlife observation of several kinds. We'll see bird life. It will probably, just like a whale watch, it will be different every day. We could see harbor seals, seabirds, porpoises, dolphins. We might even, you never know, we could see a whale out there, but it is not our intention to go out seeking whales, and it will be at slower speeds than what we would be doing on a regular whale watch. We have excellent naturalists on board who are it'll be very informative and educational, but also a lot of interaction. It'll be a great activity for families. So some really great hands-on experiences on board the vessel. And then we'll also be exploring the islands and the lighthouses. That's something that normally our whale watch cruise doesn't take time. We're just whizzing out there with the whale watch, usually to get out to Stellwagen Bank to see the animals. But we're really going to take time to observe the shoreline. There'll be some discussion of erosion, sea level rise, and so forth. So we think it's going to be both very educational, but also very picturesque and a lot of fun. So I have a copy of this I can send out. Everyone here in person has one. I'm happy to make those available on the Wharf District Council website. Mm-hmm. So that is on April 1st, and we're very, very proud to be collaborating with the New England Aquarium on that. Hi, Luz. I think Luz is on the call. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're very pleased and excited about this. We have gotten some good interest from groups. I think it's a great experience for student groups. We're a little late in the sales cycle because we didn't really arrive at this
really create this until rather recently, but we already have some group interest in that. And so, yeah, that starts up April 1. And then while I have the floor, I just wanted to also mention a couple other things to look forward to. The Landing will be opening up. Our outdoor patio bar restaurant will be opening up on April 15, just before marathon weekend. That opens on April 15. And then simultaneously on May 16, we will have our whale watch starting up on a daily basis. And we have our Provincetown Ferry starting up on May 16 as well. And we're really excited about Provincetown this year. We've actually increased our number of departures, made a more robust schedule for the Provincetown Ferry. And I think it's going to provide more flexibility and for folks that are coming from different parts of the country to catch the ferry and also to stay later down in those who want to stay a bit later in Provincetown to have dinner before they come back to Boston.
And that's both high speed and not high speed, right?
Yes, it can slow down when it needs to, but it can go pretty
Now,
fast.
is there only one? There's only one.
We have 5 different catamarans, but the primary vessel for Provincetown is called the Salacia. And it's our largest, and it's the largest and fastest catamaran as far as we know in the Northeast. 570 passenger catamaran, and it can go up around 40 knots at top speed. They usually keep it around 36 knots.
And how long does it take to get to that?
About 95 minutes from dock to dock.
Really?
About 95 minutes. It sometimes depends on how roly-poly it is. But you know, one great thing about the Salacia, it has very good ride control. I don't even know the terminology to use, but it has mechanisms that help it to ride stabilization. That's very effective. So you would almost hardly know it's moving when it's smooth sailing out there. And we also have a very nice full service concession and bar on board that's very nice. And we also have an actual onboard concierge. So on the second deck, and it's a delightful gentleman named Donald from Dublin, Donald O'Sullivan. And for folks who are from out of town, have not been here before, our onboard concierge will help them plan their day, help them just, he'll let them in, let them know to make sure they go to the second floor of the library to see the boat that's up there. Not a lot of people know about that. But anyway, it gives them tips on how to have a really fun time in Provincetown. One other thing I'll mention, I don't have the start date, but another new addition this summer as we get into season, in addition to our regular sunset cruise, our narrated historic sunset cruise, we're going to have a Thursday through Sunday, we're going to have a Sights and Sips cruise, which will be a 2-hour cruise. And what we've found over the years is that when people take the narrated sunset cruise, there are people who come on who really just want to chat it up with friends and have a few drinks and just be out on the water, and who really don't care to listen to someone telling them about the Battle of Bunker Hill and so forth. So this will provide sort of a different, more leisurely activity. There will be a DJ on board for those that want to get out and dance a little bit, and but it'll just be sort of a different experience, and hopefully we'll make everybody happy that way. So so that will be coming up this summer as well, in addition to our regular offerings. Good to see you, Jim. Any questions from the peanut gallery? How you doing out there?
Sounds fabulous. Sounds like a great lineup for the summer, and let's make sure we get all of those good things or references to them onto our social media. And of course, Doug's going to make sure that there are pictures of whales or people sipping or whatever it is, right?
And let me just say this too, for those who are interested in the Eco Venture, the Eco Venture cruise, please just contact me. I think everybody has my email, matthew.murphy@cityexperiences.com. I'd be happy. We need people to take it, particularly in the first 2 weeks, because it's a brand new product. We want to break it in, get feedback from folks. So please contact me. I'd be happy to provide comps for any members that would like to go. And and experience, see the wildlife and learn about the ecosystem out there on the harbor. Thank you, everyone.
Great, thank you, Matt.
Yep.
Suzanne, what, next, what do we want to address?
Okay, we are moving the community preservation office presentation to next month, so that is on the agenda.
Yeah.
But we're not going to have it this evening. And there is a typo there, but that's irrelevant since we're not having it anyway. The other quick one that I wanted to mention is that the Harborside Inn has requested a transfer of their liquor license to another owner, because they're going to be opening up a new restaurant at the Harborside Inn that will be run under the management of the new owner, who is Frank DiPasquale. So unfortunately, I don't have the presentation this evening, but I would ask the voting members if they could just stay after our meeting to just discuss this for a minute or two.
Okay.
The other, the next item was the bicycle lane on Milk Street. We kind of covered it already. I don't know if, Mark, if there's anything else you wanted to add to that?
Only that, no, I think we covered it already. It's, and it was sent out in the invitation. Take a look at it. We'll have to figure out what it means. I just don't know yet.
Right. And there is a website. You can go on the website of the Transportation Department, and it explains it a little bit, not as well as we'd like to do it. But apparently they're breaking it up. Their approach is different. They're breaking it up into inviting people to set up appointments with the Transportation Department, if I'm reading it correctly, to discuss this, which, as opposed to coming to community groups to discuss it. So I think we'll pursue this and working with the counselors, see if we can get more information. The almost last item on our agenda is the Wharf District Council updates. And Mark, I don't know if you want to comment on.
This is the task force update.
Yeah.
The climate resilience, yeah. So I'm pleased to report that we've made really tremendous progress. We have fundamental approval from every single one of the waterfront stakeholders, with possible exception of Long Wharf, which is undergoing its own study. And so there's been conversation about that already, but obviously they can't come to a conclusion on that yet. But the folks from Arup are proceeding on the basis of approval of a concept that goes from Columbus Park all the way down to the bridge. And the next step is for them to do a series of illustrative diagrams and renderings so that people will be, so far it's very technical and sort of engineering-ish, but we've worked through all that kind of stuff. And so they're going to be a whole series of renderings and views and diagrams that are going to be much easier for everyone to understand. And that is due to be completed mid-May. We are in the process still of meeting with electeds and a number of other folks to be able to share with them the progress. And we look forward in the very near future to having a presentation to this group of what's been accomplished so far and where it's going to go from here. We do expect the meetings and presentations to continue through next November, when we hope, with any luck, to get some additional funding to be able to pursue the next steps. The Corps of Engineers announced that they're taking on the task of protecting Boston. and that they are going to be putting together a plan by 2026 to go for federal funding. The first step in their plan is to get community input. And so we will be at the forefront of being able to provide them with what the hopes are for the Wharf district that should put us, with any luck, at the front of the line for the federal money that will be coming this way. That's a really great thing. And we have a number of presentations to folks like ABC and the Greenway bid and folks like that we're hoping to be able to schedule. And we're working on that. And then perhaps lastly, we've had a conversation that has led to a request for Arup to provide us with a fee for a slightly revised scope of work that will be focused on the whole water transit side of what we're doing. The basic idea being that we're focused on this line of resilience, and for the most part, we're not impinging on where the current docks are or how the boats currently operate. I think everybody's come to the conclusion that if we are to pursue this change in the waterfront, there's going to be a lot of work required to do that. Physical interruption of the existing shoreline, dredging and reconstruction, and that it is the time as a part of that project to consider not just what's there now and putting it back into place, but imagine what it could be if it's the best that we can come up with. A vision for not where the boats go or who they serve or how many people a day really, but to Matthew's point, where a ferry terminal should be. Should they be spread out? Should the commuters be in one location and the visitors be in another location and the private boats in another location? Who knows, right? I'm certainly not an expert on this, but to my knowledge, there's been no occasion to think about this holistically and to come up with a vision for how water transportation should operate, what the infrastructure should be for the water transportation for the Wharf district going forward. So they will be pursuing that as a part of their study between now and next November. So that's a pretty exciting part of it. And I think we all came to the conclusion that if we didn't address this, we would just be, someone would say, why didn't you address it? Because it seems, once you get around to talking about it, it seems pretty darn obvious. So I think that's the update. Suzanne, anything else?
Not with CRTF. I do have a couple of other items.
Go ahead.
We're
Unless
gonna
anybody has
mention-
any questions.
I'm sorry?
But
It's going to mention the Greenway Gala, but Chris Cook is with us, so perhaps he'd like to say a few words.
All right, thank you so much, Suzanne. So it's June 8th. It's at the Rings Fountain. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Our two co-chairs are Matt O'Malley from Vicinity Energy, former city councilor Matt O'Malley, big environmentalist. And he is also working with Helena Ajakai, who is the vice president over at Meet Boston, which is the new name for Greater Boston Convention and Business Bureau. I will say it's an incredible experience under the tent. We'd love to have support, but selfishly, because I have the opportunity, because Suzanne let me, if there's any companies that folks think should be engaged with the Greenway and taking care of this incredible public asset that the Wharf District Council is going to protect with this amazing resiliency effort, we want to make sure that all the efforts that were expended in the public infrastructure of the Greenway and the way that it's programmed with our amazing diverse programming and public art is all protected from rising sea levels. But while we're doing that, we also want to make sure that we're protecting the asset itself and making sure that it's programmed and reflects the city of Boston, and it's a great community asset as well as a regional draw and a driver for our economic development. So if there are companies that you think might be interested in supporting our mission and supporting that program, we would be very, very grateful to be connected with them. A large part of our budget for maintenance and operations is provided by the Greenway bid and Mass DOT. But all the things that make the Greenway, the public art and the programming, that all comes from the support through the gala and through our philanthropic giving. So Suzanne, thanks for the opportunity. And we hope to see you all out there at the gala. And again, we'll follow up on any opportunities folks have.
Great, thank you, Chris. Thank you.
And of course, we have our 2 chairs for Glow the next day. We have Luz, and I don't know if
Jenny just left, yeah.
Jenny, she left, but Luz, do you want to say anything?
Sure. Thanks, Suzanne. Yes, our Glow event for young professionals is the following evening, similarly under the tent at Rings Fountain. This is my second time co-chairing, and it'll be my second time attending as well. And it's a really great event, I think, for from the company perspective, to send your staff to have a nice night out in downtown Boston. And then also for any family members, anything like that. It's just a really exciting time to be out in Boston. And I'll just, emphasize everything Chris already shared, that all of the support goes to a really important mission and really aligns with everything that we want to support as a council here too. So I'm happy to answer any questions about that event, or even for Gala. I'm happy to try my best or point you in the right direction. But we hope to see you at one of the events, or hopefully both.
Great.
Thank you. And another event is our Greenway Volunteer Day with our 2 co-chairs for that, Judy, and I don't know if Sheila, she was on, I don't know if she's still with us, but that is on June 15th. And Judy, do you want to say anything?
Just wanted to say that after you come out for the gala or Glow, come out the following Thursday. Last year, we just had so many people, and it always feels good. It's an easy thing to do. It's a physical manifestation of how much we love the Greenway. So just put it in your calendars for now. It's the evening of June 15th, and you'll certainly hear more from us about it.
And we do have pizza afterwards, which was a big hit at Trillium with all of the Trillium beer drinkers.
Maybe there should be lots of sugar too.
Yeah. Thank you, Judy. There'll be more on that next month for sure. And Joanne Hayes-Rhines, you want to tell us a little bit about FOCCP and the event that you're working on?
You're on mute, Joanne.
You're mute.
I know. I saw the little sign said you're on mute. Thank you. So the Friends of Christopher Columbus Park are taking part in something that Mayor Wu has created for this year called One Boston Day, which is April 15th, Saturday. It's a tribute to the 10th anniversary of the Boston Marathon bombing. And the message is acts of kindness throughout the city. And so this idea just came out from the neighborhood office, maybe just a couple of weeks ago. So our team has been coming up with ideas of things to do in the park. We do begin Marathon weekend on Friday with the delivery of more than 200 daffodil plants that are scattered along the trellis, underneath the trellis, and with notes on it to say, please do not take the daffodils until after the marathon. And the first time we did that, we were sure that within 3 hours they would all disappear, but that isn't what happened. They actually, most of them actually did stay until after the marathon, which is lovely. So that's on Friday. And then on Saturday, we will have several hours of acts of kindness with our members in the park. At this point, it's giving out cookies, some treats, some little notes, and just saying, you've received an act of kindness, please pass it on. And also we do deliver some of the daffodils to the nursing home and to other shut-ins. So then on Sunday after the marathon, we will be in the park to give daffodils to those who walk by. Hopefully a lot of people who have just run the marathon will be recipients. But if not, and then we do take them to people throughout the neighborhood who we've understood might get a little cheering up from that. So you may see this in the local media of the day, a day of kindness. So that's Saturday, April 15th. So Friends of Christopher Columbus Park is participating, and I know a lot of other groups will jump in. It kind of just came at us very, very quickly, but it's something that's right down our alley. So we're looking forward to it. Thanks, Suzanne, for the opportunity.
Great, Joanne. That's wonderful.
And I know Sierra D'Amico, who represents Neighborhood Services, is here. Sierra, I know we talked, you really didn't have anything on the agenda, but is there anything you'd like to say?
Hi, yeah, so it's nice to see everyone. I don't have too much of an update. We did just confirm Love Your Block dates. So I know the Wharf District is the same as my other areas. So it's going to be North End, West End, and Wharf District on the same day. I'll send Suzanne that information if anyone or your group would love to join. It will be Saturday, April 29th. I will have more information on the time and everything, and I'm happy to share that with Suzanne to get everyone signed up if you would like to join. So I will keep up to date with that. And I do just want to flag the last time I was at this meeting, I know you guys had some current concerns with the State Street project. So I did flag that for my team to work out if we can sit down with the BPDA. I know you guys were forming a letter or a memo to send over. So I did flag that for them. Happy to stay in touch with that to just, get your voices heard and get you connected with that. But those are the updates I have now. But if anything comes up, I will let you know. And if there's anything you guys would like to update me for spring, summer, I'm happy to add that into my newsletter to spread out, to post on social media, just to get more of a crowd and people to join in.
Great. Thanks, yeah.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
You're from Senator. So, and your name, Ben is here from Senator Edwards' office. Anything you want to share, Ben?
No updates, but thank you all for being to us here. And yeah, I think I shared last time that the senator is now the chair of the Joint Committee on Housing. So that's yes.
Great. Great. Thank you for coming, Ben. Really appreciate it. Suzanne?
Well, we're just about at the end of the agenda, and I know unless someone else wants to bring something up, I know Joe Christo's on the Zoom, as is Michael Manning. Does anybody have anything they wanted to add?
I just wanted to mention the fact that I did. I was walking down the street today and ran into a gentleman who was sharing his new information about his new restaurant. And I don't have it here, but I think it's called Flavor Boom. Flavor Boom. Right. And so they're right on Broad Street, and he's going to get some information to us about his restaurant. I invited him this evening, but I think maybe he wasn't able to join us on short notice. But anyway, it's nice to have another new restaurant in the area.
Suzanne, the only thing, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, Joe.
The only thing I wanted to note is the Stone Living Lab, in conjunction obviously with Boston Harbor Now and UMass Boston School for the Environment, will be holding our Coastal Resilience Conference on April 26th to April 28th. So I'll be sure to send a reminder along to folks about that next month as well. And I'll drop a link in the chat to where folks can learn more and register. Melissa Hoffer from the state of Massachusetts will be our keynote speaker, and we just released the program today. So I'll drop a link in the chat now.
Great. Thank you, Joe. And I certainly hope that folks from Arup know about it so that they can keep us connected to that as well.
they definitely do.
Great. Wonderful.
Now-
Any, Suzanne?
Go ahead. I was just going to say Doug was going to just say a
Oh,
few words
please.
about social
Yeah.
media,
Go ahead.
but I don't see him, but you see
He's
him.
right here.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
Hopefully everybody knows, but if you do not know, the Wharf District Council is on social media, both Facebook and Instagram. So pick up your phone, open up your browser, go to your favorite social media site right now and just search for Wharf District Council. You'll easily find it on both Instagram and Facebook. We'd really love to increase the engagement among the residents and local businesses. On both platforms, I've pinned a post on Instagram, and I've put a feature on Facebook where the first one you see when you look at the profile is my information, my phone number, and my email. So please, if you have anything to share, whether or not you're a resident or you're a business, anything to share, send me photos, send me details, just give me a heads up, and I will try to get that out to everybody. So the more we share, the more valuable it is to everybody. So please, again, follow both Wharf District Council on Facebook and or Instagram, and let's get that moving.
Great. And for what it's worth, Doug, if you're interested in a live feed from of the harbor, we can arrange that too, because I have a.
Is that yours?
Yeah, I have a camera.
That's great.
Camera set up for outside, and we keep a
That's great.
track of what's going on the harbor. Anything else? All right. We're going to go into executive session now, members, and I'm going to stop the recording because we don't need to have that part on anymore.